Greetings, Philippines, and greetings, world. It's May 2021, and after 8 months on YouTube, now we have more than 12,000 subscribers. Thank you guys for watching our videos. What's the topic of our most recent vlog? We're going to talk about the most popular country for student visa applicants. Later, you will find out why this is the top of mind destination for those who would like to gain international qualifications. Our guest for today is a representative of Sault College, Canada, none other than Miss May Lingao. Miss May, will you please greet our audience and subscribers, please?
Yes, good morning and good afternoon, probably good evening for the others. So good day to everyone, and we thank you for watching this program and this YouTube channel. And yes, thank you so much for subscribing. It's really an awesome feature and great news that we have more than 12,000 subscribers for the last 8 months, and we are looking forward for more. So please check out our page and share it to your family and friends. Thank you.
Okay, without further ado, we're going to focus on Canadian student visa application. The first talking point. Will you please give us an overview of the student visa processing in Canada, and let's highlight the benefits to encourage them to pursue their dream of going to Canada?
Yes, of course. That's very important for you guys to remember that student visa pathway is one of the most popular pathway currently going to Canada. In fact, you can have this student visa opportunity because you can study there and you can work at the same time. It means that you are eligible to work for 20 hours per week, which means 80 hours per month, and for an average of $14 per hour. So some of you probably will compute right away. Approximately, you will get an average of 1,000 Canadian dollars, which means or equivalent to around 40,000 pesos. And that is just for part-time. Also, if there are holidays or a semestral break, you can have an eligibility to work full-time. That's another perks for you. Another feature that will benefit for those who have families. For example, if you have kids with you, you will be traveling with your children, they will have a free study, or it means that they will get free education, even you are still holding the student visa. So for those who have kids out there, this is a very important thing for you to remember. That is why student visa is indeed an investment for you. You have an ROI, as they say, return of investment. Definitely, it will help you for your spouse as well. They will have full-time eligibility to work. So while you are studying, your spouse can work full-time at the same time. So it is very an inviting and good way for you to start your new life in Canada.
Great. For everyone watching this video, we want you to know that these are the 5 visa options, okay? There's fiancé visa, spouse visa, working visa, immigrant visa, student visa. Let's begin with fiancé and spouse. If you are married, definitely these two are not options anymore. If you're single, then go ahead. Look for a Canadian spouse or a Canadian fiancé. It's just that for those who are married, what are the 3 remaining options? So there is immigrant visa, there is student visa, and working visa. Ideally, working visa is available if you're a skilled worker. Say, for instance, you're a butcher, welder, electrician, lineman, mechanic, and the like. It's just that if you are not a skilled worker, it will be very challenging. It will be very difficult for you to apply for Canadian working visa, as there are specific occupations included in the NOC or National Occupational Classification of Canada. If ever you are not a skilled worker, what are your other options? There's immigrant visa and student visa. Towards the end of this vlog, you will understand why student visa is more practical. Okay, that's an intro for our next talking point, which is, let's talk about age. If you're applying for Canadian immigrant visa, the younger you are, the higher the immigration points. That's for immigrant visa. But what about student visa application? Miss May, is there an age limit?
Definitely, there's no age limit. Yes, I agree with what Sir Ervin said earlier, that the younger you are, the better. But then again, that is why student visa is a popular pathway, because even you are at mid 30s, 40s, you are still welcome to study. In fact, I have a recent applicant who got her student visa at 45. So it's good news for everyone, those who are looking for a better opportunity out there in Canada. This will be a very good time for you to apply.
Class, if you're applying for immigrant visa, you will get maximum points for age if you're 21 to 35 years old. Now, the older you are, you will get lower points. Say, for instance, for every year added to your age, -1 or -2 points. So imagine if you're 45 years old, then how many immigration points are you going to get for Canadian immigration grid? It's 0, unfortunately. That is why if you're in your 40s, student visa is the most practical option. Like what Miss May said earlier, she had an applicant recently who was granted a Canadian student visa, even if she's 45 years old already. Now, we're not saying that immigrant visa is not an option, but what we are saying is student visa might be the only option for a certain segment of the population. Now, we're done with age limit. Let's move on to the next talking point. Are applicants required to have a bachelor's degree before they can apply for Canadian student visa?
A bachelor degree is a plus, of course. That's an advantage because you can have more programs where you can choose from. But then it is also a fact that those who graduate in our old curriculum for high school, for example, if you are on your 30s right now, you are definitely at the old curriculum. So you are still welcome to apply for a certain program. The best way for you to know if you are eligible for a certain program or not is to have one-on-one consultation with us, and that's for free. So later on, we will be sending or showing here our contact details, and you can have an opportunity for you to have that one-on-one consultation with us.
Guys, clarification. You may apply for Canadian student visa even if you don't have a college diploma. If you have, then there are more options for you to choose from. But if you don't, still you can go to Canada. If you don't have a bachelor's degree, you will find it difficult to qualify for express entry or Canadian immigrant visa. That's because the higher your educational qualifications, the more points that the Canadian government will award you in your application. So to wrap it up, for educational qualifications, the more degrees that you have, the better for you if you're applying for immigrant visa. However, if you don't have any of these educational qualifications, you may still go to Canada under the student visa pathway. So we're done with age, we're done with educational qualifications. Let's move on to another crucial aspect of the application. What about work experience? Are the applicants required to have work experience?
It is not necessary for the work experience. We have majority of our programs that we do not require work experience. Although we have two programs that we require. So this is actually for nurses. We have a bridging program that will give you faster opportunity for you to be a Canadian RN. So if that's your goal, we have those programs. So again, we call this PNP GCI and Enhanced Practical for Acute Nurses. So I mean acute care for nurses. So basically, these are the only programs that we require work experience. But all the other programs that we have, we do not require work experience.
Guys, you heard Miss May mention something about RNs or registered nurses. Just to clarify, it's not just nurses who can go to Canada, okay? Anyone who plans, anyone who dreams of going to Canada may actually go to Canada, but you just need to know which visa application is best for you, which program suits your qualifications. If you're applying for immigrant visa, the more years of working experience related to your profession, the higher the immigration points. It's just that if you have less than 1 year work experience, you might not qualify for Canadian immigrant visa. So student visa is ideal if you don't have work experience at all. Let's continue.
Correct. Yeah, that's correct.
Let's move on to the average processing time. There are a lot of impatient visas. So they expect that they can go without realizing it's not as if it's as easy as that. Because we are the one following the rules of Canada. We're not the one dictating Canada. Hey, let me go there. That's not how it works. So for immigrant visa application, you have to wait for you to be invited. What's the average processing time? Well, it could be 1 year, 2 years. The others with higher immigration points are invited sooner. But what about Canadian student visa application? Do they have to wait for 1 year? Do they have to wait for 2 years? Miss May?
Yeah, actually, that's the good news. Because for as low or I mean short as 3 to 6 months, you can have an opportunity to land in Canada. And this is real even with our current scenario. Canada just have 14 days mandatory quarantine and other rules and regulations that you need to follow. But the good news for that is you can still land in Canada even this pandemic situation. So 3 to 6 months, guys, will be the average processing time for you.
Prior to COVID-19, Australia, New Zealand, and Canada, all three of them are equally popular for student visa applicants. It's just that the world changed because of COVID-19. So as of recording as of May 2021, the international borders of Australia and New Zealand are temporarily closed. But Canada is wide open. So even with this kind of situation, you can still go to Canada. You just have to follow their quarantine rules. You need to have a swab test, and eventually they might need you to be vaccinated before entering Canada. Well, there are requirements. It's just that the good news is you can still go to Canada even with this kind of situation. So compare, the impatient applicants cannot wait for 1 to 2 years, but I think they're patient enough to wait for 3 to 6 months. Now, why are we giving this range of 3 to 6 months? The faster they are in submitting their documents, definitely the earlier they are going to get their visa. But some people take forever to comply with the requirements. That's why it might take up to 6 months. But at least we're giving you a range, 3 to 6 months. Now, let's continue. This is the million-dollar question of majority of the applicants. They want to go to a first world country because they want to earn, they want to save. But the problem is, most of these countries require show money. And what's their response upon hearing that show money is sometimes required? Exactly why we want to go there, because we don't have money. So how can we present proof of funds if we don't have money in the first place? For immigrant visa application, show money or proof of funds is almost always required. But what about for student visa? Miss May, your thoughts?
Yeah, basically, I want to give a different perspective for show money. Always remember, like what Sir Ervin mentioned earlier, you will go there to study. And it means that even you are eligible to work part-time, you need to have your own money to spend. Of course, Canadian government will not like them to be someone responsible for your expenses. So that's very important for you to remember. And it means that it is actually the money that you will spend while you are studying. To give a clear picture for you, it means that it will be your tuition fee. So approximately the tuition fee is around 400,000 pesos, and your cost of living. That's important. Of course, you need to pay for your rent, you need to pay for your food. So those are the things that you need to think about while you are preparing for your finances. It means that for your 1 year study, you need to have around 300,000 pesos for your cost of living. So I mentioned earlier 400,000 approximately for your tuition fee for 1 year, and approximately 300,000 pesos for your cost of living for 1 year. And it means that at least you have around 700,000 pesos. That is why I mentioned that this is an investment. Eventually, or even while you are studying, you can get the return of investment.
Guys, 400,000, that's not per month, okay? That's not per semester, that's for 1 year. Do the math in Philippine pesos, that's roughly 35,000. So, most people think of this as an expense. But remember, there is no return of investment if you do not invest. Now, let's move on to the next question. Are they required to have, or are they required to pass English exams? If yes, then which English exams are accepted? IELTS, PTE, TOEFL, and what band scores are required?
Yeah, that's a good note for you to remember, guys. Of course, you will be going to an English speaking country. That is why it is just right and fair enough for you to have an English test, or at least you pass a certain score for you to be there. So for us in Sioux College, generally, we have programs that we do not require IELTS. But of course, it is always an advantage for you if you will take IELTS. Why? Because we have scholarship that we are offering for those who have IELTS score. So what are the scores that we need for you to get this additional 1,000 Canadian dollar scholarship? Not bad, right? So you just need to have overall band score of 6.5 and no score below 6.0. That's quite easy, especially we are accepting general training or academic. So majority of you probably are familiar with general training and academic, and you all know that general training is quite easier than academic. So you can still take general training, get those scores, and you are eligible to have the scholarship of additional 1,000 Canadian dollars. I said additional because currently we have 2,000 Canadian dollars scholarships for all Filipino out there. So for all Filipinos, you just need to show us your Philippine passport. And once you are eligible to apply in every program that we have, whatever you chose from, you can get that deduction. You can get that scholarship. So if you have IELTS, you will get a total of 3,000 Canadian dollars. And this applies for May 2021, September 2021, and January 2022 intakes.
How much is that in Philippine pesos? 3,000 Canadian dollars. That's roughly
Approximately,
110.
yeah, approximately 110, 120. It depends on the current exchange.
So imagine if you don't have IELTS, you won't get that extra discount. But if you're
Exactly.
going to take IELTS, you just have to aim for a 6.5 overall band score and not and a grade of at least 6 per subtest. Now, how do you get 6.5 overall band score? 2 sixes, 2 6.5s. The average is 6.5 overall band score already. Class, if you're going to invest in your IELTS examination of 11,300 pesos, you're going to get an additional discount of up to 35 to 40,000 pesos. Not bad for the return of investment, the one that you're looking for. But what about PTE and TOEFL? Are they also accepted?
Currently, we are not accepting it for Filipinos, but yes, those are accepted in general for Canada as well. So if you have that, you can still submit, though you cannot have this opportunity to get the scholarships.
Thank you for that clarification. Let's move on to airfare and accommodation. Quite a lot of people are asking, sir, who's going to pay for my airfare? Is it me? Is it the employer? Well, in the case of working visa, it's usually the employer because the employer is the sponsor. In this case, there is no guaranteed employment prior to arrival in Canada. But why are they admitting students in the first place? That's because there are work opportunities. They are not going to open Canada and you will become a burden to the Canadian government if in the first place there are not enough available job opportunities. So now, that's question number one, who pays for the airfare? Number two, what if they don't have any relatives? They don't know anyone, no friends at all in Canada. So can Sault College also assist them in looking for an accommodation?
Yeah, those are good things for you to know. And I would like to start with the airfare. Of course, we mentioned the money or the amount of money that you need to prepare for your student visa application. And it includes your cost of living. In addition, it includes your airfare as well. But don't worry, you will just be buying one way ticket. So that's a good news for that. It means that you just need a lower cost of your airfare and you just need to have that for your flight. So for Sault College, you just need to book your Manila to Toronto and Toronto to Sault Ste. Marie. So you need to book 2 flights and you will land in Sault College. So that's a very good thing for you to remember. One-way ticket only. Okay, so probably that's approximately around 30 to 40,000 pesos. It depends on what airline you will be choosing from. We have a lot. We have PAL, Cathay, etc. So you can choose from all of those options. But currently, we do suggest that you get direct flight so that it will not be inconvenient for you to get swab tests or any other permits in different countries that you can get a layover. So again, you need to have your direct flight as much as possible. Second, for accommodations, definitely Sault College will assist you so that you can find a suitable accommodation for you. So you do not need to worry about, oh, I do not have friends there, I do not know anyone, I do not have relatives. That's totally okay. We have a lot of students that we helped already, and we are continuously helping more students. We will definitely make sure that you will have an accommodation before you land in Canada. And just an additional information, that is actually another good opportunity for you why you will choose Sault College. Because accommodations in our location is quite lower in terms of comparison for prices. For example, in Sault Ste. Marie, where Sault College is located, you can get for as low as 500, 600, 700, 800 Canadian dollars per month. While in Greater Toronto area, for example, per month, you need to have around 1,500 Canadian dollars. So it's like 50% lower than a Greater Toronto area. Of course, it varies depending on your preferences. Siyempre, it's like here in the Philippines, if you like an apartment or a studio or condominium, or if you are good with a boarding house or what we call homestay, where you will live with a Canadian family, you can get a lower cost for that. So definitely we will give you options and you can choose from all of those. Thank you.
This is student visa that we're talking about. for sure, no one is going to study for the rest of his or her life. So what's the next question? What happens after student visa? What if the applicant has graduated? So is there a possibility for this student visa applicant to apply for permanent residency once the program is over?
Yes, of course. That is actually one of the reasons as well. That is why student visa pathway is popular nowadays. Definitely you can have an opportunity for you to apply for a permanent residency. And that is again another advantage why you will choose Sault College. Aside from all the other migration pathway that Canada has to offer, Sault Ste. Marie, our location, has an additional migration pathway that was just launched in November 2019. It means that you have more opportunity to apply for that. We call it RNIP, or Rural and Northern Immigration Pilot. This is an additional migration pathway where you can choose to apply after you study. So probably you are hearing Canadian Experience class, which is one of the most popular right now. Why? Because recently they have a monumental, what do you call that? Like that's really unprecedented, like a COVID. We never expect, nobody expected that. Around 27,000 people got an invitation to apply. So you can just have a glimpse of that. Imagine around 27,000 people. And it means that your migration pathway will be processed in a faster manner. And that's actually a clear reason for you. That's why you need to choose a student visa pathway, because Canadian Experience class are those people who applied in Canada already. In Canada, you are in Canada already. And that means that probably majority of them are previously international students. So that's good news for you. So again, you have variety of migration pathway where you can choose from. And Sault Ste. Marie is one of the best location where you can go to because of the additional migration pathway, which is RNIP.
To sum it up, no age limit. You are not required to have a college diploma. Work experience is not required. There are programs that don't require English exams. However, if you have IELTS with 6.5 overall and not lower than 6 in any subtest, you get additional scholarship. Number 5, faster visa processing, 3 to 6 months as compared to immigrant visa, which might last for up to 1 to 2 years. There you go. We have laid down the cards. Now you totally understand why immigrant visa is the first choice of most people, but common sense dictates there are people who will never qualify for immigrant visa application because they might be too old to apply, they don't have the necessary educational qualifications, they don't have work experience, and so on. So if you really want to pursue that goal in going to Canada, student visa option is the next alternative. Having said all of that, now let's ask Miss May to invite our viewers to communicate directly with Sault College for one-on-one consultation, assessment, and so on. You may mention your email address or Facebook account or website. Please invite our audience and subscribers.
Yes. Oh, thank you so much, Sir Ervin. And before I give all those information, I would like to mention one of the most important thing for you to remember. After graduation, you are eligible to apply for PGWP. It means Postgraduate Work Permit. Postgraduate Work Permit will give you an opportunity to work full-time while you are transitioning or applying for your migration application. So it's very good opportunity for you to have PGWP. And of course, it's a good information for you to remember that not all colleges are offering PGWP. But for us in Sault College, we do offer that. If you have 1 year program, you will get 1 year postgraduate work permit. If you have 2 years program, you will get 2 to 3 years PGWP. That's why a lot of people are getting 2 year program because they will have at least 3 years to transition for them to be an immigrant in Canada. And for my information, for the details, my email is may.lingao. So basically that's my name, may.lingao at sucollege.ca. My phone number is 0927-640-5329. And you can look for our website, www.sucollege.ca. Please make sure that you will spell Sault College correctly. That's SAULT college.ca. Thank you.
I was about to say that because when some people don't read and they just listen, so is that SUE?
Yeah.
But
Some
Sue
people
is spelled as
SOO.
SAULT. Guys, if you were able to get that right, you have a chance of getting 9 in listening. But if you failed to remember, if you failed to take note of that, listening subjects might be challenging for you. That was spelled out already, so it's impossible for you to miss it. So, Miss May, thank you so much for enlightening our subscribers the benefits, the beauty of student visa application. Hopefully, a lot of them are going to maximize this opportunity because Canada is giving them a chance to go there even if there is still COVID-19. And we're just hoping for this pandemic to be over soon in order for more people to be accommodated by Canada, both immigrant and student visa application. Once again, this is Sir Ervin and Miss May Lingao. Hopefully, you learned something in the last 30 minutes of our collaboration. Thank you, guys. God bless. Bye-bye.
Thank you. Bye. Thank you.